Have you heard that you should be posting videos on LinkedIn, only to find out that when you post a video, you're just not getting the views or the comments that you expect? Well, not all videos are the same. So in this episode, we're going to talk about some of the things that you can do to help set your videos apart, get more views, more comments, and create even more impact on LinkedIn. All that and more coming up right after this. Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Make It Awesome Show, your roadmap to video marketing success. I'm your host, Renee Teely, and today I'm joined by Michaela Alexis, a LinkedIn video marketing strategist and co-author of the book, Think Video. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
So I know that you've been posting a lot of videos on LinkedIn. Your videos have gotten millions of views, and there was one campaign that you did that got 26 million organic views. That is huge. What is your advice for companies who are already posting videos on LinkedIn and they're just not getting the traction that they want?
There's a couple technical things that of course you can fix in terms of timing. I mean, 1 to 2 minutes max is probably your sweet spot. I think most people end up going a little bit too long. Captions are super huge. I mean, most people are watching either on their phone or on their desktop, but they're still trying to at least look like they're getting work done. So we have this perception that when it comes to LinkedIn, that it needs to be really stylized. It needs to look like a perfectly polished commercial. And what I've found is that those videos don't actually necessarily do that well. Think about it. Your audience, the people that you're speaking to, a lot of them aren't familiar with video at all, right? You're talking to people that have spent their whole careers hiding behind their work. It's important to kind of try to make it as candid as possible. I think people on LinkedIn love to feel like they're part of your world. There is a balance between having really amateur looking videos where it's a talking head, but not only that, the lighting is off, the audio is off, everything is kind of not quite up to par. And then there's people that feel like they need to make this perfectly polished show. And I think that people are moving away from that. People are looking for more authentic videos, more authentic content. And for a lot of people, it reminds them of those used car salesmen kind of hi there, I'm so-and-so from this corporation, and I'm going to tell you all about my services. I think that the trends are moving away from that. So trying to find a balance between keeping it professional, but also injecting your personality and unfortunately, that takes a lot of experimentation, so you have to be willing to try and fail.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, and especially for people who are not that used to being on camera, practice really helps.
Yes.
No one is perfect when they first start out, and there is something nice about, videos not being perfect, completely polished and every word exactly right, but, figuring out a good way to present yourself on camera.
Yeah, I realized pretty early on that I am not a candid on the fly video person. If I were to hold up a camera right now and just shoot a video, it would be horrible because I tend to go off on a tangent, right? I'm just one of those people, ADHD to the max, where I'll be talking about LinkedIn, then a squirrel, and then my dogs, and I'll be all over the place. And I know that about myself, and I think for most people, the struggle with video is that they feel like it either needs to be really, really polished and perfect, or it needs to be completely candid. And there is room for middle ground. For myself, I've never shot a video on LinkedIn that isn't either I don't have an outline for it or a full script. Knowing yourself and your personality and what's going to allow you to show up as well as possible on camera while still maintaining that conversational tone, I think is really important. So we talked about yesterday, the app BigView, having some sort of teleprompter app. I know that there's ones available for Android, there's ones available for iOS. Find something that works for you so that you feel confident, because that's the most important thing. I would say the biggest thing for video on LinkedIn is having that confidence about what you're talking about.
Practicing and figuring out your own personal style and what works for you. My process is different than your process.
Exactly.
And so understanding how you work, the best way to do that, and the tools that will help you, I think that's a great tip. Do you have any other tips that are going to really help videos stand apart?
Sure. Look into script writing and look into copywriting, because the more that you can work on those skills, the more valuable your videos are going to be. The problem is that a lot of people will shoot videos and they don't think about what's the hook, what's going to be that intro that's going to grab people's attention. So they're just kind of telling the story and hoping that people stick around until 3 minutes later where they get to the point. And I think that the more that you learn how to do copywriting, you understand that you're going to get straight to the point as soon as you start the video and then share the value.
That is my favorite tip so far, especially because I watch so much video content on LinkedIn and I want people to get to the point. faster. I have one last question for
Sure.
you. This is an important one.
Oh, no.
Can you tell me what is your favorite movie quote?
So this isn't necessarily technically from a movie, but it's from a movie star. Steve Martin. Brilliant actor, great comedian, and he always says, be so good they can't ignore you.
I love that.
Yeah, I use that in everything that I do.
That is quite inspirational. That is a really good quote. Nice. Thank you. Well, I really appreciate you being here, sharing all of your amazing insights. And thank you for watching this episode of the Make It Awesome Show. If you haven't done so already, I highly recommend that you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you receive our latest updates packed full of information just like this to help you with video marketing for your business. Thanks again, and remember to make it awesome.